Tiffany Henyard bestie just pulled up with some wild receipts to expose Tiffany, and it appears that Dalton's super mayor has been up to more shenanigans than we could have thought. Y'all, the tea being spilled by the bestie is wild, and it looks like the FBI were right to be on Tiffany's trail. Tiffany is not taking this betrayal well, and word on the street is she's suing her bestie for snitching. But plot twist, the bestie has even more receipts to back it all up and humiliate Tiffany. Is this the end of Tiffany's reign, or is she poised to pull off the comeback of the century? Let's break it down, guys. Tiffany's bestie isn't just pouring tea, she's serving an entire pot of sizzling hot drama. We're talking bombshell proof that could bring Tiffany's political career crashing down faster than you can say. Corruption scandal. This isn't just some petty rumor. We're talking about reputation damaging, career ending. Freedom threatens receipts, but this is where it gets interesting. Tiffany's not going down without a fight. She's hitting back hard, suing her old BFF for snitching. But is this a smart or desperate move? Last stand, since rumor has it the besties have even more dirt to dish. Will Tiffany's strong answer backfire? Stay tuned, because this political soap opera is far from over. While Tiffany's legal drama with her bestie unfolds, let's discuss about this small-town politician transform into Dalton's super mayor, since it includes a lot more than just kissing newborns and cutting ribbons. Tiffany Henyard, a local girl with big dreams, suddenly skyrockets to political stardom. She's not just the mayor of Dalton. Oh no, she's also the supervisor of Thoron Township. Talk about wearing two hats. But here's the kicker. These dual roles aren't just about double the responsibility, they're also about double the paycheck. Word on the street is that Tiffany's been raking in over $200,000 a year from these positions combined, which is some serious cash for a small. We're not talking about the occasional expenditure on office supplies, but rather an unlawful shopping spree that would make even the most shopaholic influencer blush. And it doesn't stop there. Tiffany has been living it up in city, and guess who is footing the bill? That's right, the hardworking people of Dalton. But wait, there's more to this story. Remember Tiffany's bestie, the one who's now spilling all the tea? Turns out she wasn't just an innocent bystander in all of this. Our sources say she was right there with Tiffany, living the high life and even receiving gifts worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Talk about friends with benefits. Tiffany's administration has accused Axt of putting on quite the show. They've been creating a picture of success and growth, but behind the scenes, it's a totally other tale. Former allies and employees are coming out of the woodwork, and they're not holding back. They're talking about manipulation, retaliation, and a whole lot of shady business going on behind closed doors. It's like a political soap opera, but with real-life consequences for the people of Dalton. And let's not forget, all this drama started pretty much as soon as Tiffany took office in 2021. That's right, it didn't take long for the cracks to start showing in Tiffany's perfect political facade. It's like she went from hometown hero to public enemy #1 faster than you can say impeachment. But here's the real question: how did Tiffany think she could get away with all this? Did she really believe no one would notice the lavish trips, the excessive spending, and the sudden influx of designer goods? Or was she just riding high on her newfound power, thinking she was untouchable? You thought Tiffany's spending spree were wild? Hold on to your hats, because her security detail is about to blow your mind. We're talking about a small-town mayor with protection that would make A-list celebrities green with envy, and the price tag is enough to make even Jeff Bezos jealous. Tiffany Henyard didn't only want to feel like a VIP, she also wanted to appear like one, and what better way to do that than with an army of bodyguards? However, this isn't just about looking important. Tiffany claims she has some significant threats against her life, whether true or not, and she is using these purported threats to justify a security detail that is costing Dalton $1 million.
How large is your police department in Dalton, and what is your security detail?
So we have about 45 officers in our village. My security is warranted due to the fact of threats and things of that nature, but what people are not stating is it's in our CBA. That's our collective bargaining agreement. That's our union contract. So it comes with a seat. That's what people are not saying. I didn't make this up. I didn't just create this and say, I want security.
How many officers is it?
How many officers is what?
On security detail.
I'm not gonna say how many due to the threats on my life. So
But if it's in your CBA.
it is in my CBA. I'm not doing anything wrong. I even went to court due to the fact of people suing me saying I cannot have a security detail.
Now, I know what you're thinking, $1 million for bodyguards in a small town. That's right, folks, Tiffany's not messing around when it comes to her personal protection. But here's the kicker, all of this protection is coming at a hefty price for the good people of Dalton. Remember how Tiffany was already under fire for her lavish spending? Well, this security situation is taking things to a whole new level. We're talking about a $2 million deficit in Dalton's finances. That's right, Officer Terry Young reportedly clocked in 303 hours in just one pay period, which is equivalent to working 12.5 days straight without a single break. And for all that hard work, he took home a salary of more than $113,000. Talk about overtime, because the math ain't even mathing now. Tiffany is trying to justify all of this madness by saying it's all part of her collective bargaining agreement. But since when does a small-town mayor need security that rivals the president's? And it's not just about the money. This whole security circus is having a real impact on Dalton's police force. Former Police Chief Robert Collins is not happy about it. He said, "We needed those officers to be on the street fighting crime, and instead we have several officers that are riding around protecting the mayor." It looks like Tiffany's personal protection is coming at the cost of public safety, but Tiffany's not backing down. She's sticking to her guns literally and insisting that all this security is necessary. But with a $2 million hole in the city's finances, you've got to wonder. Tiffany had been watching her back, but perhaps she should have been monitoring her pals. The mayor's inner circle is imploding, and the fallout is messier than a reality TV reunion. Which bestie just flipped the script on Tiffany, and what bombshells are they about to drop? Turns out Tiffany's ride or die crew isn't so ride or die after all. Of the mayor's closest allies are jumping ship faster than Carmen Carlisle, a trustee, is leading the FBI inquiry. Tiffany's former bestie turned whistleblower Carlisle is not just spilling tea, she's serving up a whole pot of scalding hot drama. Carlisle accuses Tiffany of using her position to pull some seriously shady moves, such as manipulating employees, vendors, and even residents, all while putting on a show of success that appears to be funded by taxpayers. But Carlisle isn't the only one turning on Tiffany. Keith Freeman, the mayor's former chief aide, is apparently singing like a canary to investigators. It appears Tiffany's strong management style has backfired, big time, turning her inner circle into a revolving door of potential snitches, and the accusations are wild. We're hearing stories of Tiffany pressuring employees to punish business owners who didn't support her, suppressing public records requests, even getting her staff to engage in some pretty unethical behavior on her behalf. It's like a political thriller come to life right in the heart of Dalton. But here's where it gets really juicy. These are not just whispers and hearsay. We're talking about full-blown lawsuits from former employees claiming unjust termination. It appears that working at Tiffany was about as stable as a house of cards in a windstorm. The picture these former insiders are painting isn't beautiful. They're talking about a web of lies, deceit, and corruption that would make a soap opera writer blush. Tiffany felt she was operating a tiny town empire instead of serving the people of Dalton. And remember all that talk about threats to Tiffany's life, the ones she used to justify that $1 million security detail? Well, some of her former allies are raising eyebrows at that too, wondering if those threats were just another way for Tiffany to flex her power and spend taxpayer money. But here's the $1 million question: why are all these people turning on Tiffany? Is it a case of rats fleeing a sinking ship, or did Tiffany's power trip finally push them too far? Either way, it's clear that Tiffany's reign as Dalton's super mayor is looking shakier by the minute. And let's not forget, all this drama is unfolding while the FBI is sniffing around. With so many insiders ready to talk, you've got to wonder what other skeletons might come tumbling out of Tiffany's closet just when you thought the tea couldn't get any hotter. Tiffany is grasping the kettle herself. She's not only denying she's going nuclear, but made her forceful defense approach backfire. Spectacularly, Tiffany Henyard is firing back at her accusers with all guns blazing. She's not taking these allegations lying down. No, sir, the mayor of Dalton is on a mission to clear her name, and she's using every tool in her arsenal to do so. First up on Tiffany's hit list, her former bestie. That's right, the mayor is slapping her ex-friend with a lawsuit for snitching. Talk about a friendship gone sour. Tiffany's making it obvious that she's not willing to allow anyone trash her name without consequences. Tiffany's not stopping at litigation, she's taking her defense to the airwaves. Using her podcast to bash her accusers in a blistering rant, Tiffany called out the snitches who were speaking against her, and she is not mincing words. Tiffany is making it obvious that she has her own receipts to refute all of these outrageous charges. If you want the tea, take it from me. Tiffany proclaimed on her show that she's going to reveal her own version of events, and you can know it'll be juicy. Tiffany's not just defending herself, she's going on the offensive. But here's where things get tricky for Tiffany. She's claiming that all of this drama is just part of a bigger plan to undermine her leadership. Tiffany's painting herself as a beacon of light for Dalton, insisting that she's being targeted because of her success. Some folks are starting to worry that Tiffany's full-on attack mode might backfire. Why? Well, for starters, her former bestie isn't backing down. In fact, word on the street is that this ex-friend is threatening to drop even more bombshells if Tiffany doesn't back off. And let's not forget about all those other people who've been spilling the tea on Tiffany, her former allies, employees, even her ex-chief aide. They're all talking, and they're not saying nice things. Can Tiffany's receipts really counter all their stories? Plus, there's still that pesky FBI investigation to worry about. Tiffany might be able to sue her former aide, but she can't exactly slap the feds with a lawsuit, can she? And if they find any dirt to back up these allegations, Tiffany's aggressive defense strategy could end up looking like a desperate attempt to cover her tracks. But don't count Tiffany out just yet. She's proven time and time again that she's a fighter, whether it's juggling multiple political roles or facing down accusations of corruption. Tiffany's shown she is not afraid of a challenge. The question is whether her battling spirit will be able to withstand this storm. Nevertheless, Tiffany is not the only one hurling. The federal government has officially entered the scene, and when it comes to Tiffany Henyard, they're not holding back. The FBI has pulled out all the stops, deploying their full investigative arsenal: electronic surveillance, witness interviews, subpoenas, and every other tool at their disposal to dig deep into allegations of Henyard's corruption. The discovery that has tongues wagging all over town. The FBI has been quietly tracking Henyard for some time now, and they've opened a full-fledged investigation into her actions as mayor. What began as whispers of misconduct has evolved into a sprawling probe that seems to grow more serious with each passing day. Federal agents have been speaking with witnesses, sifting through allegations, and uncovering details that are raising more than a few eyebrows across the community. Henyard's allies are scrambling to defend her, claiming she's simply a new, inexperienced mayor trying to navigate the turbulent waters left behind by her predecessor. But those arguments are starting to fall flat in light of the controversies that have surfaced. The lavish spending, the power trips, these stories have dominated local gossip, and it's becoming harder to see Henyard as a hapless leader. Critics argue that Henyard has reveled in her newfound power, and it's not just her financial decisions under the microscope. Federal investigators are also looking into allegations that Henyard has been misusing police resources for her personal security and other unauthorized activities. Remember that explosive million-dollar bodyguard scandal? It seems the FBI is keenly interested in that too, and they're not taking it lightly. But perhaps the most shocking rumor swirling around town right now is that federal agents may have uncovered millions of dollars in cash, cold, hard cash, stashed away at Henyard's home. While this hasn't been confirmed, the mere suggestion has sent shockwaves through the community. If this rumor proves true, Henyard will have some serious explaining to do. This investigation is casting an enormous shadow over her administration, and it's becoming clear that Dalton's local government is facing a moment of reckoning. As the scrutiny intensifies, questions about Henyard's integrity and leadership have begun to dominate local discussions. Henyard's reputation, once a point of pride for her supporters, is now under siege. The FBI's investigation could have far-reaching consequences, not just for her political career, but for the town itself. If the investigation substantiates even a fraction of the mounting allegations, Henyard could be in serious legal trouble. Criminal charges seem increasingly likely, and the possibility of jail time isn't off the table. For a mayor once heralded as a fresh voice in local politics, this downfall could be swift and brutal. And her political career, it's hard to imagine it surviving the fallout from this level of scandal. However, it's too early to count Henyard out completely. Despite the growing list of accusations and the intensifying pressure from the FBI, Henyard has proven herself to be a formidable figure in the past. She has weathered storms before, and it's possible she could find a way to navigate through this one. As the investigation unfolds, it remains to be seen whether Henyard will emerge from this firestorm unscathed, or whether it will signal the end of her career. Dalton is watching closely, with the town's political landscape hanging in the balance as the FBI's grip tightens. One thing is certain: this investigation has already sent ripples through the community, and its ultimate resolution could reshape the local government in ways that no one could have anticipated. The fallout, whatever form it takes, is likely to be seismic, and the outcome will determine not only Henyard's future, but the future of Dalton's leadership for years to come. Tiffany Henyard has always been a fighter, and she's proving it yet again that she finds herself at the center of a growing storm. But this time, the stakes are higher than ever. Known for her fiery personality and willingness to go to battle, whether it's through a legal suit or a sharp retort on her podcast, Tiffany's never been one to back down easily. Just look at how she's threatening to sue her former best friend, the very person who seems ready to spill all the tea on her. That lawsuit could turn into a real mess, and if her ex-bestie decides to reveal even more secrets, Tiffany might regret dragging things into court. However, this isn't just some local drama she can smooth over with a public statement or a fiery defense. The FBI has entered the picture, and they play a different kind of hardball, one that comes with resources Tiffany could only dream of. The FBI is investigating her alleged corruption, and the list of accusations is getting longer. They're digging into everything from financial misconduct to her alleged misuse of police resources for personal security, and even rumors of stashing millions of dollars in cold, hard cash in her home. This isn't a problem that can be fixed with a flashy lawsuit or a charismatic speech. With the feds on her tail and her former best friend potentially ready to air all her dirty laundry, Tiffany's political future is looking more unstable than a Jenga tower ready to collapse. And if she goes ahead with the lawsuit, it's likely her ex-friend will retaliate by dropping even bigger bombshells. The question is, does Tiffany really want all of her secrets and skeletons coming to light in court? It could expose more than she's prepared to handle. But while it's easy to focus on Tiffany's struggles, her former best friend's motivations are also under the microscope. Did her friend betray her out of spite, or was it for a greater good? If the rumors swirling around Tiffany's corruption turn out to be true, maybe this was the only way to clean up the political mess in Dalton. It's hard to say whether Tiffany's former confidant was acting out of self-interest or trying to shine a light on some serious wrongdoings. Either way, this situation isn't just a personal feud anymore. It's become a public spectacle, and people are starting to wonder whether Tiffany's days as Dalton's super mayor are numbered. The real question is, when the dust settles, will Tiffany go down swinging, fighting the allegations tooth and nail until the very end? Or will she cut her losses and step down before things get even messier? Her supporters still have faith in her fighting spirit, but even they are beginning to wonder if this battle might be one she can't win. Meanwhile, people are starting to voice their frustration. Some are saying that politicians like Tiffany need to face the music and be held accountable. They argue that until officials like her face real consequences, such as federal prison for misusing taxpayer money, politicians will continue their unethical behavior. It doesn't matter what race or gender they are. People are calling for thieves and corrupt officials to be prosecuted and locked up for their crimes. The sentiment is growing. How does Tiffany Henyard, with all the accusations flying around, manage to stay out of jail? Shouldn't she already be indicted by now, given the gravity of the allegations? Some critics feel like she's playing with taxpayer dollars, and it's only a matter of time before the hammer falls. As the FBI digs deeper and her best friend stands ready to reveal more, Tiffany's grip on power is slipping. What happens next could decide not only her political future, but also whether she'll be able to walk away from this unscathed or face serious legal consequences. The clock is ticking, and everyone is watching to see how this chapter in Dalton's political saga ends.